Right now, in your body, there's a war you will never see. A war fought cell by cell, molecule by molecule. And if you're alive today, it's because your immune system has already won this war, thousands of times. The enemy? Your own cells. Not foreign invaders, not viruses. Cells that were once loyal citizens, now breaking every biological law you were born with. It begins with one mistake. A single cell out of 37 trillion suffers DNA damage. This could be from ultraviolet radiation, a chemical carcinogen, a replication error, or pure chance. Normally, that cell's internal repair machinery fixes the error. If the damage is too great, it self-destructs through apoptosis, programmed cell death. But sometimes the safeguards fail. The cell refuses to die. It ignores the signals that control growth. It starts dividing, again and again. At first, this isn't cancer. It's a benign clonal expansion, a cluster of abnormal cells. They're inefficient, unstable, and limited by resources. If they can't get oxygen and nutrients, they will wither. But mutations keep happening. And one day, a cell acquires the ability to produce VEGF, vascular endothelial growth factor, triggering angiogenesis, the growth of new blood vessels. Now it has a supply line: oxygen, glucose, amino acids. It's no longer a small accident. It's a self-sustaining microtumor. Your body notices. First come the innate immune cells, macrophages, which engulf and digest abnormal cells, and natural killer NK cells, which destroy anything that lacks the proper self-markers. They release cytokines that sound the alarm, attracting more forces. Then the adaptive immune system joins in. Dendritic cells collect tumor antigens, abnormal peptides from mutated proteins, and present them to CD4+ helper T cells, which coordinate the attack, and CD8+ cytotoxic T cells, which directly kill tumor cells displaying those antigens on MHC class I molecules. This is the elimination phase of cancer immunoediting. Blood vessels feeding the tumor are blocked. The abnormal mass shrinks. Billions of cells die, debris is cleared, and normal tissue regenerates. You never knew this battle happened, but evolution never sleeps. Within that tumor were many genetic subclones, different lineages with different mutations. Most were destroyed, but some had traits that made them just slightly harder to kill. Maybe they expressed less recognizable antigens. Maybe they produced immunosuppressive cytokines like TGF-B or IL-10. Maybe they resisted apoptosis or survived with less oxygen. These survivors regrow. The immune system attacks again. Faster this time, with better targeting. Yet once more, a few escape. This is the equilibrium phase. A cold war between your body and the tumor, lasting months or even years. The tumor is kept in check but not eradicated. With each cycle, selective pressure favors the most evasive, immune-resistant clones. And then one clone acquires the ultimate defense. It learns to exploit immune checkpoints, natural off switches like PD-1 and CTLA-4 on T cells. These molecules exist to prevent autoimmunity and limit collateral damage, but the tumor begins expressing PD-L1, the ligand that binds PD-1, effectively telling T cells, do not attack. This is the start of the escape phase. The tumor becomes an immunological fortress, recruiting regulatory T cells, TREGs, to suppress immune responses, altering its microenvironment to exclude killer T cells entirely, increasing mutation rates to further diversify antigens, even reprogramming nearby stromal and immune cells to support its growth. At this point, the immune system is confused, paralyzed, or actively sabotaged from within. The tumor grows unchecked. Some cells gain the ability to invade surrounding tissues and travel through blood or lymph, metastasis. New tumors form in distant organs, each with its own fortified defenses. The cancer is no longer a local rebellion. It's a full-scale insurgency across the body. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Cancer isn't just uncontrolled growth, it's a moving target, an evolving ecosystem. It doesn't need to defeat the immune system. It only needs to stay one step ahead. That's why treatments that work for a time often fail. The tumor changes. And why curing cancer is not one problem, but thousands, each with its own genetic and immunological fingerprint. But the story is changing. In the last decade, immunotherapy has emerged. Drugs that block immune checkpoints, checkpoint inhibitors like anti-PD-1 or anti-CTLA-4 antibodies, or CAR T-cell therapy, where a patient's own T cells are genetically engineered to better recognize and kill tumor cells. It's not perfect. Tumors still find ways to resist. But for some patients, these therapies have turned once fatal cancers into manageable conditions, or even erased them entirely. So why is cancer so hard to beat? Because it's not a single disease. It's evolution, adaptation, and survival, all happening inside your body with your own cells as both the enemy and the battlefield. The real fight against cancer isn't just in hospitals or labs. It's in every heartbeat, every breath, every silent microscopic battle you never knew you were winning. Until one day, you don't. And when that day comes, science hopes to tip the balance so that the last tumor town falls and never rises again. For more fun and interesting videos, subscribe to Mindrix,